Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nathan Majavira, and today we have Mrs. Suparna Menon with us today. Ms. Menon joins us from IBM, where she serves as a partner in customer transformation. Yeah, so could you tell me a little bit about yourself?
First of all, thank you, Regent International School, for this opportunity to come here and speak with the students. And thank you, Nathan, for doing this conversation with me. Honestly, I have never been so nervous to speak to an audience as I am now, because to speak with young adults, to speak with folks like yourself, is something that's very new to me. In Dubai, of course, I've done it elsewhere, and I've always found those very challenging conversations because you come from a space of not really knowing what I do or what we do as a business, and the questions that come are just so intriguing. So thank you for the opportunity for being here that you've given me, and really looking forward to this conversation. So a little about myself. Yes, you've already mentioned that I work with IBM. I work with IBM Consulting. So as the name suggests, that side of the business helps clients across the globe be able to make a difference to how they do business, what they do in business, and how successful they are, and which is why it's called Business Transformation Consulting, and my specific area is in digital. So I lead an area of digital transformation for IBM, and so I help businesses, and my teams help businesses do better using digital. I have been in IBM about 16 years now, almost to the date, and it's my longest stint of working across my 30 years of working that I have. I look back and I realized it's 30 years of working. And I come from a background of marketing and strategy, and then came into technology with IBM and absolutely fell in love with what technology can do to make human lives better. And that's what kept me at IBM for 16 years, my longest stint of work. Outside of work, I am married. I have two lovely daughters who've grown up now, of course. One is doing her Master of Design in California, and the younger one is pursuing humanities, doing political science, economics, and media studies in Bangalore, back in India. I am a big dog lover. I absolutely adore dogs. And in terms of hobbies, it's been music, books. I love doing yoga. I think yoga has been a very central part of my life. So that's very quickly about me.
All right, yeah. So on behalf of Regent International and myself, we thank you very much for joining us today.
My pleasure.
Yeah, so 30 years, that's a very long time, and I'm sure you have a lot of experience and great experiences with you as well. So why don't we move on to some questions, right?
Sure.
All right. So having a successful career now, you must have always had someone who believed in you to lift up your spirits and have high hopes and keep you in high hopes. Who supported you the most during your career development?
That's a lovely question, and it's a very deep one as well. So honestly, through my working years, I have 30 years of working and I'm 29 years married, all right? So you can imagine who's been the support for my career. It's been my husband. Many times when I've made bold career changes, I've had moments of self-doubt, and I've always wondered whether it's something that I can do, something that I can jump into. There have been moments where personal challenges would override a professional scenario, and it's always been my husband who's sort of been at my side, been my counsel, been the encouragement for me to go forward and do exactly what I needed to.
Yeah, that's nice. That's good. Have you ever had a low point in your life where you feel like second-guessing your decisions? How do you find the confidence and the sheer willpower to keep on going? And which decision has brought you to your success today?
So, well, I wouldn't call them low points, but points of self-doubt and, like you said, second-guessing whether, what you're headed out to do is right or wrong. So there have been at several junctures like job changes that I've made throughout my career, junctures of when I became a working mother, had kids and I had to go back to work, and I had self-doubt and all of that. At every point, I think what I've fallen back on is conviction that what I have made a decision for is the right decision, and authenticity of commitment, making a truly honest effort to go through with the decision that I've taken and to be able to get across and do this. Of course, the first time was the hardest, but over time, when you've had a few of these, you also fall back on the experience of having got it right. So it gets you past that self-doubt that, look, I've been here before, I've had these doubts before, but I've got it right and I've moved on, and it's always served me well. So the conviction of what you've decided to do and the authenticity and commitment with which you actually finally do it, those have been my guiding principles through every change that I've experienced.
Yeah, that's very respectable, Ms. Menon. So, Ms. Menon, I wanted to also ask you, I did a bit of research on you, and it appears that you have a bachelor's degree in physics, mathematics, and electronics, but you currently have a job in consulting at IBM. So could you tell me about why the switch in the fields of expertise and how these subjects have helped you in your career?
So, honestly, yes, now it seems like a switch, but it's not really a switch. I think I just did physics, maths, and electronics because I love those subjects, and I did them. Then I did business school, and obviously the two weren't connected then. But somewhere through what you do, you find the connects, or you start connecting the dots between all that you've been exposed to. So I think having had a training in physics, maths, and electronics gave me this whole scientific curiosity, which is so very important for what I do today at work. I made the switch from doing physics, maths, electronics to business school was because if I had to go forward doing physics, maths, electronics, I would have landed up becoming a professor. Perhaps if I were to take pure science as a route, and that's not something that I felt I was cut out to do. So I said I'm going to go and try something else. And so it was just a decision to go and try something else, and I did so. And looking back, I don't think I would have changed that. Yes, I did not have subjects like the ones you study, like design and technology, history, psychology, wow. If I had that combination, I would have opted for that. Or after physics, maths, electronics, surely I would have. But Regent International School wasn't around when I was growing up.
Yeah, it's highly admirable of you, yeah. So what are some decisions you wish you could have taken to make a bigger, even a better impact on your career/role?
Sorry, say again?
What are some decisions you wish you could have taken to make a bigger or better impact on your role?
Oh, yeah. So when I look back at my career of, 30 years of working, one thing I would have probably done better with had I realized the power of people much earlier in my career. I think it's over the years that I've understood the power of people. What I mean by that in two dimensions that I will share with you. One is your teams. You are as strong as your teams are, and to invest in that much more, understand them as people, be empathetic towards them, and then be able to work together with them, your opportunity to create is a lot bigger. The other dimension is with people forming the right network, be it a network at work, be it a network in the community. It is so very powerful, and that's something that we just undervalue. In terms of, I have personally undervalued. I have sort of invested more in I than we, and over time I have realized the power of we far more than just the power of I. And that's been a turning point. Things that have really turned out well for me has been when I've understood the role of people in what I do, both my teams as well as the clients whom I serve as people, as well as the power of network of people. It's supremely powerful, and we undervalue that. So that's the learning I've had along the way, and I would change that if I could dial back a few years.
Yeah. So of course there's no I in we or I in together.
Yes.
Yeah, that's correct. So you're a partner for customer transformation at IBM, and you have led a digital transformation and design thinking practices. Could you tell us more about what this role entails?
So to do that, I'm going to ask you to do something.
Okay.
So we talked about design thinking, and we talked about businesses, we talked about customer transformation. How does all of this come together, and what do I do at work? So let me ask you to imagine a product, okay? I'm going to ask you to imagine something. So close your eyes, Nathan.
Okay.
Think about a cycle. And now describe to me what you see in that picture in your mind of a cycle?
I see the cycle having huge wheels, a really nice dark and red color, maybe even blue, nice side handles, gear changes, the seat adjustment, the pedals. I can see little straps on the pedals as if it was a real racing bike, like you can go really fast. I can imagine the cycle itself, the chain on it. I can see it's really nice, shiny steel.
Okay. We've got lots of things going on there. So, yes, so now you have this picture of the cycle in your mind. Now I'm going to ask you to once again close your eyes and think about you are cycling.
Oh, yeah.
What's that picture like?
So I see me riding a bike throughout the mountains and the hills, through the curves. Then you can see the trees on the side. Like, let's say it's a cliffside, and you're going through the mountains, and then you can see little tunnels. You go through them. You see the wind flowing through your hair, the bike, and you feel like you're flying for a second. You feel like you can do anything once you're going that fast.
Fantastic. Now I'm going to ask you to compare the two pictures, right, that you had in your mind. In the first picture, there was a focus around the product, the cycle, what it can do. You looked at the gears, you talked about the seat, you talked about the color, you talked about the form, the fact that it has two wheels and it's made the way it is. In the second picture, you started talking about where are you cycling, the feel of the wind, the terrain, perhaps who you're cycling with. Things like, are you going downhill? What else are you doing in that whole environment? There are curves and alleys through which you're passing. Now that is an experience.
Yeah,
right?
of course.
The first picture is a product, the cycle, and the second one is an experience. What's the difference between the two is you focused on the human in the second one, and you've understood what is that human interaction that's happening with the product, and not just the importance of the features of the product, right? Holistically, using that cycle, when you are cycling, what are you doing? And that's a whole experience in itself. So we use design thinking, which helps us understand humans better, human interactions better, and then be able to advise businesses to do much better with their products and services by connecting and building bonds with humans, using practices like design thinking. And with the pandemic having happened, with COVID having happened, there's been a complete acceleration of the reset of how humans interact with technology. So think about it in the world of use of technology. How can you humanize that and make it far more effective to truly make experiences and not just products and services? That's the whole path that we take using design thinking and transforming businesses.
Okay, yeah. So now's some time for rapid fire questions to get us all excited.
I'm very nervous.
Yeah, you ready? Yeah?
Yes.
Right. Summer or winter?
Summer.
All right. Favorite drink?
If I were to drink?
No, favorite drink.
Oh, favorite drink. Oops. What's my favorite drink?
Could be coffee.
Coffee. Yes, coffee. I
Coffee?
guess.
Yeah. Then favorite country?
Favorite country, India.
India. Favorite OS, operating system?
Android, of course.
Favorite TV series?
Oh, there are so many that I've seen. So I like crime and thrillers, mystery, and all of that. So I remember Blacklist. Then I've been binge watching many of these, and then Crown, the second season that's come in.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
So I'm Netflix hungry.
Netflix hungry, yeah, same. And then favorite movie genre?
Genre, again, crime, thriller, and one of the movies that I can watch over and over again, and I wish I could just watch it in a manner that I forget about having seen it before, is this movie called Argo. I don't know if you've seen that, but it's Ben Affleck, and there's this absolutely edge of the seat action about freeing up a set of Canadians from a country and helping them come out of the country safely.
Yeah.
So that's a favorite of mine, which I would love seeing again. Then Lion King, I love anything by Disney, the greatest creator. Yeah.
And then sweet or savory?
Savory.
Savory. Favorite actor?
Favorite actor? there are so many. Ben Affleck, of course,
Ben Affleck,
I love
yeah.
his work. Really, really like his work. Yeah, there are so many. I mean, Anthony Hopkins,
You heard of Tom
Ben
Hanks?
Affleck,
Tom
Tom
Hanks?
Hanks, yes,
Really?
Tom Hanks. I love Da Vinci Code and so many of his other movies. So
Yeah.
there are too many.
Too
I
many.
think it's been in a particular movie. I would like the person and really appreciate that, and I would go back and see those in-person movies again. It's definitely folks like Ben Affleck, Anthony Hopkins, Richard Gere, Harrison Ford. I mean, the list is endless, and Julia Roberts. So many actors.
Yeah. Street smarts or book smarts?
Bit of both.
Is it both?
A bit of
Yeah.
both. In different contexts, you need a bit of both. Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. So let's move on to a few business questions. What would you say was a milestone achievement during
Phew,
your
that was
time?
easier than I thought. Okay.
It could be a product or
Okay,
an
sorry.
instance.
What would you say that again?
A milestone achievement during your time at IBM. This could be a product or an instance.
So I'll answer that in two parts. One is in terms of my journey in the career, my career journey with IBM, and the second is in terms of the work that I have done with clients. So the first one is in terms of journey in IBM. I had won an award as the best of IBM. It's an extremely coveted award. There's just a handful of about 100 odd people who win that award across an organization which is really, really large. And winning that award was something that made me very proud and acknowledge what myself and my team have together achieved. And I was there taking the award, in fact, for all of the work that my team does, right? So it made me very proud of what I have achieved with my team. The second one is when I became partner in the business. What I mean by partner is, you're part of that business and you have the responsibility to grow it. When I became partner, you become the top 15% of the organization globally. And that was a very, very different responsibility. And that was a big pivot. Now, in terms of instances of work that I've done with clients, I've had great opportunities in IBM to have done work that's been in financial inclusion. Very rarely do you get an opportunity to bring in and build on-ramps opportunities to prosperity, economic prosperity for the underserved.
Yeah.
I've done work like that. I've done work in Africa where we've connected so many millions of people using digital payments to send money home in a safe way, or do digital transformation so that using mobile phones you set up businesses for people who haven't had the opportunity, through use of computers, perhaps due to economic disadvantages that they'd had. So many such examples of work that I've done with IBM, especially around community and inclusion and transformation of lives, making them better, that I very, very proudly recall. It's very rarely in a lifetime would you get such opportunities to transform lives meaningfully.
Yeah. So let's move on to some questions from the audience. Would anyone
Sure.
like to ask some questions?
Your best friend there has a question.
Hi.
Hello?
Who's the most famous person you met through your job?
Who's, sorry?
Most famous person you met through your job?
Oh, I've met celebrities from the field of cinema. I've, of course, met our leaders in the business. I have not physically met, but virtually met with the top leaders in the business. So, folks like Arvind Krishna, virtually met, of course, and met other leaders. So that's been a great opportunity. And of course, many clients have worked with their chief executive officers. Many of them have inspired me in the way they have built their businesses. So thank you for that question.
I believe IBM was involved in creating one of the first USB boards, right?
Was it the USB ports? I thought, to our credit, it was the barcode. I mean, we've had many inventions. We have a rich history of inventions. So, yeah, I haven't discovered them all myself.
Were you
No, unfortunately not. But then we've had a very long history of innovation and patents. We are the organization with the maximum number of patents in the area of technology that we've built. And we also have programs that actually encourage you to take that path. So you get through programs of distinguished engineer and distinguished designer, bringing design and technology together, and you're encouraged to build these. But some of the most exciting recent innovations that IBM has made is in the field of AI, quantum computing, cloud services. We've created absolute breakthrough technology that can have the power to change lives and how we live. So those have been the most exciting ones, which in some part I have been part of. Not the build of it as much, but the thinking and application of it, yes.
Yes, hi. So what's your tips to make your network better?
What are my tips to?
Network better.
Network better,
Yes.
yeah. Look around the room and tell me how many people do you know in this room?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7, yeah.
7. By the end of the day, make it 30.
Or 8.
Make that 7 or 8. By end of the day, make it 30. Everybody in this room, students, teachers, that's networking. That the tip is to start looking around you. Start looking around you beyond just your own circle. Start looking at people who don't do what you do, and start getting to know them. And what you will learn from that is magical.
What was your first job?
Sorry, whose question was that? Okay. My first job was in media, with a very large media house in India, and that's where I learned my, ethics of work. It started shaping from then on. So it was a sales job in a media house.
All right, thank you.
Back those days, newspapers was a big thing, 30 years ago.
Speaking of Indian media, who's your favorite Indian actor?
Sorry, I couldn't quite see whose question that was. All right, your question. Who's my favorite Indian actor? Or actress, actor, it's the same. So I have slightly unconventional, of course, Amitabh Bachchan and Shah Rukh Khan are very popular, but I enjoy movies by slightly more, less mainstream actors or actresses like Farhan Akhtar, Abhay Deol. I don't know if you've even heard of them. Because probably the number of movies that you see would have more of the other celebrities like Amitabh Bachchan and Shah Rukh Khan. I like them as well, but I probably identify a little more with some of the non-mainstream actors and actresses, like not the Deepika Padukone I like, by the way, even though she is mainstream. Yes, you have your hand up.
If you had to give any advice to your younger self, what would it be?
If I were to give
Any advice to your younger self?
my younger self, like I said earlier, I think one very big one is about people, understanding people around you, networking, learning to be more empathetic from get-go. I have learned that over time, but that would be very, very important. And also, over time, I have learned, which I would have been nice to have known earlier, is about making mistakes. It's great to make mistakes. You should make mistakes. But also remember that this is a quote that I hold very dear to my heart. A mistake made twice is a decision. So be responsible about the mistakes that you made.
What do you like from your colleagues?
Sorry?
What do you like from your colleagues?
I didn't quite get it.
Amir Khan. Do you like Amir Khan?
Amir Khan, no, actually not. To be very honest.
Why not?
Well, that's a very personal perception that I carry in terms of, I think he's done great pieces of work, but I also do not really completely agree with a lot of the material and positions he takes. So, yeah.